everyone. Welcome to episode 2. I'm going to talk about breastfeeding, pumping, and formula today. I feel like it's an emotional topic for myself personally, and for other moms as well. So my plan was to breastfeed pretty much exclusively, except for when we would go out and I would have some drinks. Then I would have formula for Kai. But things don't go as planned, right? So after he was born, they, clean him off, whatever, put him on you, you start breastfeeding. Because that was what I wanted. And so I have a notebook of like things I want to touch on, so don't mind me. So then we stayed, I think, 2 nights in the hospital. So I was breastfeeding, and the lactation consultants come in and they show you and make sure he's latching okay, show you like how to position him, this, that, and the other. So things were going great. He's a little babe, getting what he needs, whatever. Come home, same stuff. And I love it. I love breastfeeding. I love to watch him as he falls asleep, because he's like smiles and like it's this connection, right? And people make you feel like, oh, like if you don't breastfeed, you're not gonna have like this connection with your child and da 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 da. And I will say, even with bottle feeding, with formula, I still have a connection. Like I'm still making eye contact with him and all this stuff. But yes, I love breastfeeding. I just feel like, it saves you money. I'm not gonna ever complain about that. Babies are expensive. And it just makes me feel like connected to him, and like, I'm giving him what he needs. But I also feel like that is a societal pressure and things like that too. But as he started growing, he was not getting enough from me. And no one ever told me that, but it's just what I knew, and I could feel it. He would start like ripping his head off my boob and like losing his marbles, and I'm like, okay, come on, and then like I'd massage and do everything I needed to do to try, see if that worked. I would squeeze my own boobs to see if anything was coming out, and nothing would come out. I'm like, okay, so obviously he's not getting what he needs now. So sorry, I have like the sniffles. I was outside and now I'm really warm, and the change in temperature. I'm COVID free, guys. But so I was like, oh my gosh, like, just feeling weird about it, And so my boyfriend's like, well, like there's nothing wrong with formula. Like we need to get him some because he's hungry. So we got him formula. I'm not going to not feed my kid just because it's formula, right? Formula's still just as good. Obviously, breast milk, they say, is better, but formula has come a long way and is really good for your baby too. So we start giving him formula when needed. And I just started feeling like, so like just kind of weird, like kind of bad. Like my body isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it can't do what it's supposed to do. Like, what the F, man? Like, feeling weird, feeling not okay with myself, really. And so then, like, when my boyfriend would watch him, because I had to go run errands or do something, or like, I would be relaxing, taking care of things around the house, he would be like, oh, I'm gonna make a bottle. I'm like, no, like if I can breastfeed him, let me breastfeed him. And because they say the more they're on your boob, the more your body will produce, because now your body knows that he needs more, and crying. I'm like, I don't want to listen to my baby cry. Like a minute of it is enough. 1, it gives me anxiety, and I'm like, I can't stand it. And 2, and most importantly, how I feel is like, oh my God, my baby's crying. He needs something. Like I need to comfort him and give him what he needs. So I'm not going to let him cry so my body can produce more milk. Even though they say that helps. It's just, that's not for me, but to each their own. So anyway, I might backpedal a little bit here. So we started introducing formula. I won't backpedal just yet. So, but he was a little older, maybe like a month. I don't really remember. And I don't write these things down, and people do. I don't know. And I have no sense of time. So anyway, so we started introducing formula, right? Which helped him, and it was great. He was not hungry and screaming and ripping his head off my boob and like dire needed more food. But to backpedal a little bit, I'm gonna talk about pumping. So we left the hospital, we're home, and I think like the first week, 2 weeks, I didn't pump. I didn't pump for the first 2 weeks. And they never really talked to me about pumping and when to do that and whatever. So I was Googling it. They're like, oh, do it after 3 weeks and da-da-da. And then they talk about power pumping and just pumping for an hour. But it's like 20 minutes, 10-minute rest. 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, 10 minutes on. So then I started trying to pump at like 3 weeks. And this is when we're still trying just breastfeeding with him. I was getting so much anxiety, feeling so overwhelmed. I'm like, my boyfriend would come home and I'm just like, I'm not like the happiest person, right? I'm like, I've been sitting down all day feeding him, and if I'm not feeding him, I'm trying to pump, and I'm not even making that much. And no one put the pressure on me to pump. But, you know, I work, I have maternity leave, but that, like the looming idea of going back to work, well, what do? Like, I should stock up as much breast milk as I can, because what if I have to send him to daycare? What if COVID does end soon? And I actually have to go into the office, and then, I don't want to send him with formula and da-da-da-da-da. And I just put all this pressure on myself. So not only was I feeding him as a newborn pretty constantly, I was trying to pump. And I felt like my nipples were going to fall off for like the first 3 weeks. And I just then I just feel like I'm not making enough for him, and now I'm trying to pump, and now like I'm pumping the rest of what's in there, and then he's gonna go and eat, and now he has nothing in my boobs, and now he's pissed off and causing more stress on me because like I can't give him what he needs. Seriously, it's very overwhelming, and I would cry about it, not frequently, but like a few times. And I would talk to my boyfriend like once I finally came to like the point where I was like, it's okay to give him formula, and it's okay, your body is not making enough. Like, it's not your fault. It's not like I'm sitting here like getting hammered every day and that's why, or I'm like doing like drugs and like that's why I can't feed my baby, or I'm doing something wrong to where I can't feed my baby. I even tried like eating oatmeal all the time. Like, I tried everything, right? So I finally became okay with it, and I talked to my boyfriend. I was like, I think I just put too much pressure on myself and made myself feel like I'm failing. And I started crying a little bit because it's like emotional. I totally am okay with giving him formula, but I think it was like that weird pressure from the outside world that like formula is still kind of like, ooh, what are you doing giving your kid formula? Even when I went to go buy it, I was like, oh my God, like, are people gonna look at me weird? It was weird, but whatever. So yeah, I went through all that, and he's fine, right? A happy baby is a fed baby. A fed baby is a happy baby. Breast or formula, whatever it is, like, you just need your kid to be healthy and fed. He's waking up from his nap. Hold on. Okay, so I just was feeling kind of bad about myself and not being able to do what I should be doing. My body should be doing naturally, right? So it is what it is. I'm feeding him right now, sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. Just letting you know. So I was more okay with giving him formula. So he's on formula, supplementing with formula when he's still hungry. And then he started having like pooping issues. He was pooping like once a day, sometimes twice a day. And then all of a sudden, like, he would be constipated for like 2-3 days. And like really like have to push. And I'm telling you, like, I took a video of it. It was heartbreaking. So red in the face and so much, like, you can tell he was putting like so much effort into it. And just like so uncomfortable and crying. It was heartbreaking. So I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And they're like, oh, you can put a thermometer up his butt. I'm like, I am not comfortable doing that. One, how far do you put it up? How long do you keep it up there? Like, I'm not putting something up his butt. I can't do that. Warm bath, okay, fine. That, helps him feel relaxed. But we switched the formula, and so we were using Similac, and then we switched to Enfamil, and it helped. And every baby is different, so maybe Enfamil does or didn't work for you, and vice versa with Similac. But this is what worked for him. And the ease of pooping got so much better. But I'm just like, oh my God, now, like, not only can my body not give him what he needs, and he was regular, now I'm giving him formula, which I already felt weird about, and I finally came to terms with that. But now he can't poop because of it. It was just awful. I felt so bad for him, but now, like, things are better. But that was, an issue for a couple weeks, and we finally, like, when we finally switched and things got better, it was like just such a relief. But it's like, people don't talk about like how trying and like heart-wrenching it can be, breastfeeding. So it's just, it's a lot to like process through. And so, it's normal to feel bad about like not producing enough for your baby. But you can only do what you can do. And I hope that if like you're having those issues, you're able to have support and able to work through it. And again, if like you like want to talk about it, like, I'm always here, because I did go through it. And it's like, it's so funny because I don't like ever judge a mom for using formula, and I never would. And I think it's great that some moms like, oh, I don't want to breastfeed. Like, I want to be able to have drinks. I want to be able to go out. I want to be on like a breastfeeding schedule. Like power to you. I personally just wanted to breastfeed. Like, I wanted to do that for him. And that was my choice. And I just felt, it's like weird that I felt so bad about having to give him formula when I really don't like care. Like, I think formula is a great option, and it's just like, I think like if I didn't have an issue and I wanted to give him formula, I would have felt differently. Like, it wouldn't be so hard. But because there was an issue with my body producing enough, like, it was a personal thing. It was super, like, I'm a failure, but I'm not. I'm still able to give him some breast milk. And then I talked to a lactation consultant who recommended some herbs, which I tried, but then they made him super gassy. He's already a gassy baby, mind you. And so I just stopped taking those, and it is what it is. It is what it is, So, yeah, it just was a lot to go through. And then kind of to backpedal to pumping, I gave that a shot. Like, and I just don't do it. And the lactation consultant, go ahead. The lactation consultant was like, just do it like twice a day for 15 minutes. And I tried doing that, and I was making an ounce from both boobs. An ounce. I'm like, what a waste of stinking time. Like, so it would have been 2 ounces for the day. So I'm like, I'm just going to save it for my baby. It is what it is. And I'm like, I'm not going to worry about pumping. I don't enjoy it anyway. Like, how boring it is to sit there. Like, yeah, you can watch a show or whatever, but like, I'm constantly up and down. And I don't want to be tied to the stupid breast pump. Yeah, you can carry it around, but like, it's just so annoying to me. Like, and then that's like, I'm like, am I being selfish because I don't want to pump? It's like, I just kind of really don't care. And I went through that whole I care and I don't care back and forth with like giving him formula too. Like, oh no, I don't care. Yeah, I do care. And it's just like such a yo-yo and a whirlwind of like feelings and emotions. But yes, yeah, so it's just so much better this way. I'm not sitting here all day trying to feed him, trying to pump, and then giving him formula. It's like I'm able to give him what I have, and then as soon as I know like that's done from like cues and signs from him, and he's still hungry, I have a bottle ready for him. Excuse me. And it's just like it has taken so much pressure off of me. And it's not like I was unhappy, but like in general, but that part of being a new mom was making me unhappy. Like the pressure to breastfeed and sitting here all day feeding and pumping and feeding and pumping, trying to produce more. Like I had to take the pressure off of me to be happier with and enjoy like being a mom, because it's so awesome and it's like there's so many good things, but it for a while was being overshadowed by just like the dread of feeding and pumping. So yes, I know a lot of people go through it, and I just wanted to kind of take a little bit of time to talk about like my situation and what I've gone through. And hopefully if you're going through those issues and feelings, like you have the support that you need and you're able to work through it, and you've feel like you have resources. So the lactation consultant I use was super awesome. She's super nice. So if you needed a recommendation, feel free to reach out to me for her information too. But other than that, that's all I really have to say about breastfeeding and pumping. I don't know how long I plan on doing it because I don't know how long my body's gonna produce. Oh, also, I got my period. So the consultant said like, yeah, that can usually make your breast supply dip as well. And she recommended more like calcium and something else. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. This is stressing me out, even having to read this stupid article about how to help your supply not dip as much during your period. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not buying any more herbs or pills or whatever to help. It is what it is. And so it's just the craziest stuff. It's just crazy. And if you feel like your nipples are going to fall off and like you don't want to breastfeed, my friend, like, she just pumped the whole time. So, and her baby got breast milk that way. So it's just like whatever works for you. And you might go through those feelings of like feeling bad, or like, it's like, why, like, is it okay that I'm doing it this way? It's okay to do it however you need to do it to get your baby fed. So just know you're not alone. And again, if you have any questions or you want information on the lactation consultant, please feel free to reach out. And I hope you all are doing well. And I appreciate you listening. All right, have a good day.